Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This July, Acres is celebrating the birth of our nation. The fireworks include the opportunity to save big with great pricing on our late model John Deere ag equipment. Plus, you can lock in interest rates as low as 1.9% on select used John Deere planters, tractors, sprayers, and combines. Red hot rates combined with our explosive discounts make July the perfect time to buy and save. Don't wait. These deals won't last long. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer July 31st, 2025. Some approved financing. Offer may change anytime without notice.
Tune in to live coverage of Big Ten Media Days from the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. July 22nd through 24th on 93.7 The Ticket. Join Derek Pearson, Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert, and Austin Orman as they bring you exclusive conversations with Big Ten coaches, players, and sports media professionals, while getting you ready for the upcoming college football season. Big Ten Media Days coverage is presented by Advanced Medical Imaging, Stevenson Smith Construction, Currency, Warhorse Casino, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and League One Volleyball. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, this is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? Happy Thursday, Thirsty Thursday. Kevin Myers not being able to be in, but we want to give a shout out to Myers Cork and Bottle. This is Old School, live in effect, 1040 O Street. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andromat / Old Cheney, 168th and Maple, where Strick is on the way up to. Before we get started on the NFL stuff, since you guys are going to have BP with DP, Upside Bar and Grill is having a UFC night in or bar and lounge or grill. They make some really good food, so they should be put grill on there. UFC fight this weekend. No cover charge, so get there early. I think doors open on fight night, and especially on NFL days. I know at 11 when it's football time, even earlier if it's a noon game. I think they'll definitely be open by 1. Get in, get seating. Again, no cover, great drinks, great staffs, TVs in every direction, and the food is excellent, and they never run out. We'll be packed. They've been doing a lot. Obviously, they have great karaoke on Friday nights. Definitely have theme nights on during the week, and karaoke, I think, on Fridays, and then they have something else on Mondays and Thursdays. But Saturday, UFC, make sure you guys go check it out. It should be good weather, so they have some seating outside in the front and the back, but then more importantly, a ton of seating, space, TVs, and action inside, upside bar and lounge out there on about 27th and South. And so we wanted to give them a shout out because we will not be able to have them in studio tomorrow. So we'll say it again here, every segment. Austin, NFL. We know we talked about number one, we talked about my time in training camp, getting traded, getting released, and all that stuff, which is interesting. Before we jump into it, I know we had to cut it a little short. I never knew there was a difference when you get waived, released, and all that other stuff. So I think technically I got waived. I think because one time I was hurt, didn't necessarily pass the physical.
So what is it? Released is you didn't make the roster. Cut is you were on the roster, and then
I think,
all of a sudden you're not. And waived is there's something behind the scenes injury.
I think waived is, and I don't even know. But I'm guessing waived is you're hurt. Cut is you cut during the season. Released is most likely a money thing. I don't know. Anyways,
here we go.
You got the designation.
So supposedly,
good old internet.
Cut is a broader term encompassing both waived and released. Waived refers to players with fewer than 4 accrued seasons, while released applies to those with 4 or more potentially.
That's interesting. I never knew that. That's crazy.
But maybe the injury does play into waived versus released as well.
It doesn't matter either way. You ain't there. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter.
Or wait. Here's another part. Let me keep reading here. Waived means you still have a contract essentially.
Yeah.
Cut means your contract is
done.
Is
yeah,
done.
That is true. I do remember that. So because they do have obligations, most likely you're hurt or have not been cleared fully. One of the things besides obviously, TJ Watt becoming the highest paid non-quarterback in the league, and obviously Micah Parsons will soon to be the next one. So TJ Watt wants to at least hold that title for, if I'm him, for at least a week or two. Micah Parsons wants to be like a day or two. Mike Williams retires. And, and a lot of people around here probably don't know him. He obviously was drafted by the Chargers, was a really, really good college player, showed a ton of potential as a professional player. I'm going to tell you this right now. He played 8 years in the NFL. Then obviously, I think got thrown under the bus by Aaron Rodgers by not running on the red line or the red line in a crucial game. Got traded to Pittsburgh, made a couple big plays, but had a multitude of quarterbacks, wasn't able to really get off on the right foot. But I think sometimes I always say this, every short or long career isn't built the same. You got a lot of guys that can play that end up playing a ton of years in any sport, more importantly, the NFL, because we're talking about the NFL. If you polled 20 guys, we're like, that he shouldn't even be playing.
Yeah.
Then you got some guys that their career cut short by injuries, and I think sometimes the everyday fan thinks, "Oh, you're injured. You didn't work hard enough to get back." You're a big, strong football player. Sometimes it's the timing of the injury when it happens, the magnitude of it, and the opportunity that you really get. And then also while you're injured or hurt, you make the right decision for yourself before the team. And I think Mike Williams is a prime example of that. When healthy, he was one bad dude. He was a problem. And he's big, fast, strong, make 50-50 catches. But ultimately, there comes a time in every NFL player's life as an NFL player that your body, it sometimes gives out on you, and that's the hardest way to go out, because I'm sure Mike Williams would have liked to play 10 years and kept playing after he was able to kind of walk off the field after a season of being healthy.
Mike Williams had a stretch. So his rookie year in 2017 with the Chargers, played 10 games, only started 11 catches. Then from 2018 to 2022, that was a top flight receiver in the NFL. If you look at just that 5-year stretch where he played in all 16 games in 2018, then 15, 15, 16, and 13, probably the healthiest stretch of his career. That's 75 games with 58 starts, 279 catches for 4,400 yards. That's 16 yards a catch, 30 touchdowns, 202 first downs.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a season in there, Jay, 49 catches for over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
It's 20 yards a catch. That's insane for a guy with even that volume, essentially 3 catches a game.
Yeah, and that's
crazy.
the thing about it. It was all season long.
Yeah.
Nobody could stop him,
No.
and that's where you always wonder what if, what if he was able to stay healthy? What if he didn't have some freak injuries or something like that? And that's just a part of the game that you never get, I guess, enough highlights or lowlights or consideration when you start to describe or put a stamp on somebody's career. So you want to wish him the best as he moves on, because one thing more importantly, obviously he's very well compensated, really good player, but the biggest thing that he probably can walk away from is that he's a first class dude. When you talk to people in or around at that time San Diego, now the Los Angeles Chargers, and throughout that organization, they say you can't find a better dude. And sometimes that does not get enough credit, because as in this day and age of the me before we type of mentality, being a good teammate and a good all-around person doesn't get highlighted enough for any athlete. When you hear about athletes generally on the 4-letter network or on Fox or something like that, generally, most likely it's because they got in some trouble.
Yeah.
And sometimes you deserve, you get in trouble and you can't run away from it. But I don't think it's near as appealing or sexy to highlight some of the guys that, do the right things and, more importantly, are good people in the locker room, in the community, and with their teammates.
Funky Mike Williams stat from Bleacher Report Gridiron. Over 100 games played, 330 career catches for Mike Williams. He had more interceptions than fumbles. He caught an interception on Hans' team on a Hail Mary and never fumbled in his NFL career. At least didn't lose it.
Well, he's a big dude.
That's crazy,
it's hard
man.
to get the ball away from him. But those are like the little sneaky stats that when you throw it to him. I talk about ball handling all the time as far as the skill positions. Playing pitch and catch, and then obviously when you have the ball, being able to secure it, but then also do the right thing with it. So, I think it's just you always say you want to give guys credit. To play 1 year in the NFL, 8 minutes in the NFL is a big deal, let alone 8 years, and it's nothing to look back upon.
Where did he go to college? I forgot this
one. Clemson.
Was Clemson?
Yeah.
Sneaky wide receiver run for Clemson as well.
That's what I say. He was the first one, and it was. And was he the first one?
No,
or he was
it
in
was
between.
Deshaun. He was the middle one. He had Sammy Watkins.
You're right. That's right. He was the middle one. When he went, it was like, okay, he gets the credit from the guys before, and he was I think he was more of a cyborg, bigger, faster, stronger, not as maybe dynamic as far as the short and intermediate routes, but. You want to give him a ton of credit, man. And whether it's college or the pros, guys that, laid on the line and decided to call it a career.
Artavis Scott. Remember that name?
I do. Volume receiver. Volume receiver.
Because Amari Rodgers took over right after Mike Williams left.
Yep. I remember him too.
Artavis Bryant was there right before Mike Williams.
Yeah, and he was it seems like everybody that went to Pittsburgh after a while, no matter where they came from, Notre Dame, Clemson, they ended up
and DeAndre Hopkins, of course.
Yeah,
with Martavis Bryant.
Yeah, but Bryant ended up being a knucklehead too.
Yeah,
but that's one thing I wanted to ask you about in the second part of this NFL. We won't get into the arbitrator ruling for the NFL on NFLPA encouraging players to essentially fake injuries to get more money. Now you do that because they colluded not to give them any money. So it's going back and forth, and everybody's somehow magically airing each other's dirty laundry. You're supposed to be working together in 10, 15 days because we've got a season kicking off. But I wanted to ask you your opinion on this, Austin. When you talk about wide receivers and I guess DBs, you hear the word diva, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about off the field. You got, Rice for the Chiefs. He has 30 days of jail time now, which is essentially if he's on probation because he doesn't have to go. He has to take like 2 online courses.
Yeah.
Then you have my man Jordan Addison, by the way, of Frederick, Maryland, just to let you guys know.
He's following the Jay Foreman path, minus this little incident.
He pled to a lesser charge in the DUI case. Now, everybody, I don't want to always label position groups, but whether it's I'm not getting the ball, like Keyshawn said, throw me the dang ball or anything, something like that. The wide receiver position, in your opinion, is it okay for them to be somewhat of divas?
Yes and no. I think that running backs get the diva beat out of them. It used to be a glamour position, but now I think it's just you're a piece of meat. We'll grind 3 in 3 years, and then we'll be on to the next.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, I mean, on the low, Jay, have had a lot of rule changes their way, like
You're
the
right.
quarterbacks, right? With the targeting rules, everything over the middle that defenses really can't do anymore.
Des Bryant catch, where he caught it against Green Bay. It won't be a fumble anymore.
Right. So I think wide receivers maybe have been allowed to get a little soft, which is where maybe some of that diva attitude comes from, is when you don't have to work as hard perimeter blocking, when it's easier to get open maybe than ever before because of rules, when you have less to worry about when you cross over the middle of the field.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's understandable that it went that way. I mean, you kind of wish it wasn't the case. But these dudes at wide receiver and defensive back are some of the best athletes in the world. Right. I mean, they're matched up against each other for 60 minutes. I honestly think that defensive backs, I don't mind them strutting their stuff as much, especially the ones that are out there on an island, right? The true number one corners in the NFL that are matched up with some of these guys, you're not going to win 50% of the time.
Yeah.
There's just so much slanted toward the offense that if you're winning 35 or 40% of the time, or you do your job well enough for a couple reps that they just don't even look your way with the ball to that number one receiver, I think corners have a bigger, reputation for being divas, but I think at least more of them earn it than wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, you're out there on an island, and it's kind of like almost being an offensive tackle. You could shut down your opponent all game long, get beat once, and they're ready to run you out of town. And you got to have that blind confidence in yourself that not only you have to lie to yourself all the time that, that nobody's better than you and you're the best athlete out there, but then also you have to have that confidence that was, forged in the hard work and building of steel, mentally, that you can handle, any type of great athlete when you're not in a advantageous position as far as the rules and pass interference calls, so forth and so on. So I just wondered about I don't mind it. I think, I'm, like basketball player, because Jordan had diva in him, LeBron and Kobe, everybody
competitive
did.
arrogance to some degree.
Yeah. And you're okay with it. You're definitely always okay with it. As long as they're there for the right reasons and they, play and compete and practice and to win.
Because Antonio Brown had some diva in him too.
Yeah.
And it worked for 5 years.
It worked
for the next 5.
Yeah. After Buford got him and Brissett, he got whatever his name is, and knocked the silliness in them. And the one thing about it, people need to realize, like, everybody sees Peyton Manning right now on TV, and he's a funny dude. Him and Eli. Peyton was a good teammate, but he was there to win. He wasn't there to be friendly. And he definitely had guys that he definitely associated with differently than others, if you really read. But that doesn't mean he was a bad teammate. He was just there to be the best he could be
and make you the best.
You had to prepare, play, and live that way, or he wouldn't trust you. And so then that's what.
And Eli would have a beer with you in the locker room, I've been told.
He would, but he was chill. He, like I said, about 2 words. So I just think that, and that's another thing. As a quarterback, you got to have that competitive arrogance as well. You got to feel that your opponent so good, doesn't matter what the defensive coordinator or defensive players call, that you're going to be able to out execute them. And that's fine. I think where people have a misconception on diva players or players that speak out are the ones that are more arrogant. Just arrogant.
Yeah.
And that's just confidence with a lot more ignorance, in the sense of it becomes all about them, no matter if they make it within the team concept or an individual play. And so that's what you try to not have in your locker room, because that's not probably something that you can generally win over time. But I think whether it's the byproduct of our, sports culture, the way we are as a society right now, so forth and so on. You definitely want to make sure that you have the people around him, that support him, because CJ Gardner who was with Philly, he's kind of like a nickel safety corner. He got traded from Philly. I was listening to a podcast that he was on the Pivot, and he said that Philly didn't want a true competitor, meaning he didn't care who you were or who you are, what your paycheck was. When the pads come on, I'm going to do what I do. And he was very, he'll say what's on his mind, right? You've seen him when he was with Detroit, he got into it with a bunch of the Chiefs and they end up beating him. And then when he went to other teams and then he ended up in Philly, they won a Super Bowl. He's a winner. The good thing about it is when he was talking about when he got traded, he went and this is where he has a lot more self-awareness that people give him credit for. He spoke to Howie in Philly and he said, listen, I want to go to a winner because I think that would be the best for me and the best for them. Knowing it, going from winning all the time to losing all the time is a very hard thing to do. Trust me, I know. But he said DeMeco Ryans called him up. So I'm going to let you be you. And that's a part of coaching that I think maybe DeMeco gets as a former player, but I think that not enough coaches in general get a credit for, of coaching different personalities, different player types, different egos, or whatever you want to call it, for the betterment of the team, but also for the betterment of the player. Because you'll get a better leader and a better, I guess, veteran presence from him if you let him do him.
When he's authentic and not trying to be someone else.
Right, because he's like DJ Swearinger. You remember him?
Yes.
I remember saying DJ Swearinger. I said, listen, man, I know you from Rock Hill. You cannot be gangster 100% of the time. Okay? We got to have
what percent of the time could he be gangster?
1,000 in his mind. He needed to be about, when he's in football, that's it. When we're signing autographs and all that, we probably need to be at 0. But he's on. But you know what? But there's a place for guys like that in the NFL, because you know what? They love the game so much, and you don't know what their background is, but they play to win. They play for keeps, and that, you know what? I think it's a lost art, a lost quality that we don't have in a lot of athletes right now. And so I think it's breath of fresh air, and obviously we want the 2 wide receivers to be, I think Rice is going to get suspended, maybe Ian Addison as well.
Yeah.
A couple games, and then hopefully this is the only time that we hear about it.
Which sport do you think has the most divas or the biggest degree of diva?
Right now, presently, I'd probably say basketball, based on my firsthand knowledge of club AAU basketball, because you see them all the time. You see the dunks, you see the interviews, and they're just, you even got kids around here that, think they're bigger than, that. And then you got the parents on it, where football, once you go off the training camp, your parents ain't around.
Football, I think, is a little different too, because I think you see more holdouts for contracts in football. And I think that might give them a bigger rap for, these guys, they look like divas, money hungry. It's about the attention for them. And I think it's just so different in the NFL because the contracts are non-guaranteed, because of how quick the market resets. I'm not saying it doesn't in basketball, but I think basketball players show more of their diva on the court, I think, than football players do. And I think I think there's a stronger case to be made for that diva being more present across the board in basketball. But I think if you look at just how it's talked about, you talk about it wide receivers, you talk about DBs, you talk about the contract holdouts, that I think gives football maybe a little worse rap than it deserves on that.
Yeah, football's, definitely gets it. I mean, when you look at Neighbors in New York, for the first part of the year, he wasn't getting the ball, and he's like, I don't know what they're doing. They're throwing it to me late. It's a waste of time. I think earlier on, so say like 10 years ago, it was a different type of diva wide receiver cornerback that came in. Very competitive, played for keeps. Now I think these dudes are just out to have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I mean, they're just out hanging. The viciousness between like AFC North, yes, between Pittsburgh and Baltimore, but not much. Like Cleveland used to get, it'd be a down and dirt. It's not like that anymore. You don't have the Josh Norman against Des Bryant when it was like personal, right?
Crabtree and Sherman,
right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Josh
like
Norman, I forgot about that name. Yeah,
essentially he made Des Bryant.
All about
Des Bryant was so mad he had to remove himself from the situation. So I think you don't have that anymore just because of the climate. And I think real quick, when you think about, we'll go back to the like basketball AAU. I think you don't get the competitiveness, fierceness of like Michael Jordan, Kobe, or the Miami Heat Cavs. That kind of win or go home. I won't have a good offseason if we lose this game or series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a byproduct of when you see like club teams, AAU teams, you'll have guys switch teams mid-summer.
Right.
1 week here, 1 week there. So there's no continuity. But what that does is it creates that more present day diva because Austin, you're a coach at said place. Jay's coach at other place. A kid leaves your thing or your organization. He comes to me. Now he thinks next step, I'm LeBron.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I don't like it over here. So then you start to kind of increase your diva status.
I'm happy to get rid of it. You don't like him acting that way.
Right.
That's two people instead of just one with a negative opinion.
But there's always the one person always points every finger back to
everyone
Austin
else.
and Jay. And so that's where I think the diva comes into it, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not getting enough touches. I'm not getting enough open looks. You hear all the stuff or I need some more sets ran for me, this, and this. And so I think it's a different type of mentality. And I think football's hard because if you walk in between those white lines, even though the rules are very lax as far as going across the middle, like Reggie Herring used to say, you can run up in the club and get pistol whipped. Still, you can get hit very hard, not as vicious and life-threatening. Whereas basketball, you even see guys really mad when they get dunked on.
No, they don't take it personal.
Right?
Now, we also don't see as many. I'm trying to think of the best examples, right? Where a guy's hanging on the rim.
In your face.
You're still underneath the rim. He's on your shoulders.
Yeah.
We don't see as much of that anymore because guys don't take it personal to give up 2 points.
No.
So they're not up there trying to contest to begin with.
I've seen a kid get dunked on in a tournament and run down the court like no big deal. I mean, and I think as a big man, if another big man drop steps, dunks on you, that's disrespect. That's
just on principle.
I gotta club you upside your head. I gotta foul you. You right? Oh,
you're not getting the next one up.
Right. You're not getting that one up. And if you do, I'm fouling you. I just seen him just go right down the court. Right? Or something like that. Now, if somebody gets you or you're boxing out and he's running, that's just kind of wrong place.
It happens.
Right. It happens. But I think that it's a byproduct of, the whole deal. And so it'd be interesting how things change or, get better or get worse in as far as in college and now obviously professional football.
We got AD chiming in. He says, spitting facts, fellas. AD, congrats on the TJ Watt contract. You did it.
Yeah,
he's hype.
Hey, AD, let me tell you something, man. You talking about a diehard Steelers fan?
Woo.
First of all, if you're a Steelers fan, you are diehard. It don't matter. That's just. But that's the way it goes, man. I mean, I always say that before we go to break. I wish there's two coaches. I wish I could. Well, probably three. I mean, I got to see Bill Belichick, or obviously one. But two coaches I really wish I could have played for. And I thought somewhat close. Bill Parcells and Bill Cowher, but more importantly, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I felt like I'd fit in at Pittsburgh. I felt like, you know what I mean? I felt like, look, it's kind of like Nebraska. It's football all the time. I'm from, Frederick, Maryland. It's not too far. I felt like that's just,
sure.
Whatever. Just never got the chance. And it's a great organization.
Right.
So anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll talk a little bit of NCAA. They changed the power rankings, but more importantly, what position group we need to be, I guess, our Nebraska U version for Nebraska to get over the hump this year. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, old school, the new school way. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartments, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also, no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Get the baler you need without breaking the bank at Landmark Implement. Right now, qualified buyers can get 0% fixed for 36 months or stretch it out with a 2.9% fixed rate for 60 months on used John Deere 560M and R-Series round balers. Reliable, field-ready, and priced to move. Don't miss your chance to lock in serious savings before the next cutting rolls around. Visit your local Landmark Implement or head to landmarkimp.com today and experience the Landmark difference.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, And even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, live in effect, 1040 O Street. It's definitely active out here. We usually don't touch those subjects. But anyways, a lot going on, Austin, with NFL season, off-season winding down, and with the college football off-season winding down. That means that, playtime is about to be over.
Mm-hmm.
And for these young athletes in a position of, say, like Nebraska, it's a lot different than I think in years past. I think the standard has legitimately, I'm just assuming, it's been legitimately reset, right? And the standard is kind of what you do every day, whether you feel great, indifferent, or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Mindset, intentions, and all that stuff. And then the expectations, I think, are through the roof. And that comes from the opportunity and that's out there via the schedule, the perception, via your own expectations and what you drummed up in your head. But then also, I think it's, where they say, okay, well, it's about time. It's our time. Mm-hmm. And when that, all those three things kind of align, and I think when you have a quarterback that you believe in and you're set on, I think you're in a better position than a lot of other teams throughout the Big Ten, but more importantly throughout the nation, to really make some noise. And I think you also have to temper those expectations, because it is still a young program. It's the third year under Matt Rule, or 2 full years, and then it's his third season. So you got to let these guys go out there and earn their stripes. I mean, the schedule's set up for success, but then it's not going to be easy. And so, as much as people would like in 2025 this team to be like the 90s, or let's say 2009 or whatever it is, where you knew when you roll up to a station where there's going to, or a stadium, you're going to bowl them over. It just won't look like that most of the time. Guys, they're going to have to go out and win those games. But that's also, I think, the appealing process. Now, along with that, Austin, we did position group U with East Strick. Now we're just going to take it to the home team. What position group has to be that group this year for Nebraska to want? It's a kind of 2-part question: to get off on the right foot, which is a dub, and then at the end of the season be like, that is our position group.
I think if you look at what Nebraska has returning, right, not just guys that add to the program, in terms of returners, it's going to be the running back room. There's a lot of continuity there, a lot of program-raised guys. You look at Emma Johnson, you look at Quentin Ives, and year 3 for him, and finally, hopefully getting ready to break out for the sake of that entire room. Defensive backfield has a bunch of guys back, lost some names. But I think that the backfields probably have the most returning that you know about and are confident in. By the end of the year, though, I think you would hope that shifts to the offensive line, where you have Justin Evans taking over at center for Ben Scott, most likely. We'll see how he goes. It's third year in the program for him as well, I believe. Lutovsky going to Big Ten Media Days, cemented himself as a starter last year. There's a reason he's going to Media Days. The staff really likes him, really trusts him. Then you're looking at, Rocco Spindler. Where does he fit in on the line? Elijah Pritchett, can he live up to the promise that it seems? Who's locking down left tackle versus right tackle, that sort of thing. I think there's enough bodies on the offensive line that Nebraska could have that be a strength, but it's a lot of unproven. Yeah. Where I think there might be a higher ceiling for Nebraska to hang its hat is on that defensive line. Again, a lot of unproven guys, and you lose 2 of the best players Nebraska's had in the last handful of years in Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmaker. There's a lot of names on that defensive line that people are excited about. If 3 or 4 of those guys reach what we think their potential is at the same time, that can be a scary unit.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. I mean, obviously any team goes as far as their offense and defensive lines takes them. But I think, they both embody each other. And, for me, my group is obviously being biased is going to be linebacker. But
Shocker! Wow, who saw that one coming? Really?
I got legitimate reasons, but I think
I'll be the judge of that.
I know, right? Just cause is very good, is a good reason. But I think when you look at the offense and defensive line, I think they mirror each other. I think they're going to have to, really come into camp. They can't. There's no days off for them.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is it can't be a day where you completely drop the ball, right? Just atrocious practice. And you can have a practice where you get beat, but you have the right intentions and the intensity and obviously effort is there, right? And sometimes it's their day. Sometimes it's set up for you not to be successful. And that's offense and defensive line.
And that's when you have to be at your 85%, right?
Right. And that's where you talk about, on the offensive line, where you have Justin Evans Jenkins, right? Where it's probably tailor-made for center, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Rocco that's bringing, a Notre Dame experience. And then you got Pritchett, which is kind of like the silent assassin. Latowski, who earned his stripes last year and started to become, consistent at guard, might be tackle or whatever he needs to be at.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be able to pick each other up.
Dude, even Gunnar Gatula played quite a bit last year.
Gunnar Gatula played. He didn't look out of place.
He did not.
So wherever he fits in. So now you have, say like 4 guys you kind of know penciled in, pinned in, and then you got some viable options and adjustments that you can make at that 5th guy. But really, you need 8.
Yeah.
And so that's no different than the defensive line. I think you got Judy, you got Van Poppel, then you got
Keona Davis.
You got a lot of other guys that you can think of that can really fit in there and get in where they fit in. You have the transfer from Mississippi State. You got all these guys that are options. Now they got to become into the rotations. Now more when you move to the linebacker position, where you bring back the likes of Javen Wright, you got Shavers, you got the law firm, you got the young man that earned a scholarship, I think, from Norfolk, all that, whereas he's a crazy athlete. Where those guys, I think, has to be like linebacker U for Nebraska.
I think the one that got the scholarship was the California one.
California. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Is where they have to be linebacker U is the sense of not only do you have to play well right away, more importantly, you have to lead well.
Yeah. Signal callers, all that important stuff.
Inspire, push, even when you don't want to through the dog days. The third part is,
before you move on real quick too, you mentioned the interplay between those position groups.
Yeah.
It's a defensive line that hasn't played much and certainly hasn't played much together.
Right.
You're those linebackers. Yes, you get them in the right spot, but the defensive line success is going to help you out.
Right.
And then the flip side of that, if you think about offensive and defensive lines matching up, linebackers and running backs matching up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That running back group has got to be so hungry.
Yeah.
Think about all the conversations we've had or not had about how unproven they are. What does Nebraska have for depth? How important it's going to be for Nebraska to find that next guy or two behind presumed starter Emmett Johnson. Those linebackers ought to be facing a motivated group of running backs who need to bring their best each and every day. So if you're these linebackers, a bunch of you are just as unproven. A bunch of you has just as much to step into. You got to match that group's energy level.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was going to go. And I want the text line to text in, what group do you think has to be that, position group U for Nebraska to be everything that everybody wants them to be. And I think that they embody each other in the sense of they have to be super motivated because they have like potential and everybody is questioning whether they're for real or not. And it's kind of funny where you look at this team. Ideally, I'm sure Matt Rhule would like to sit back and just let them compete and go after each other. And then he's got to be the one to pull the reins back, right? Because everybody's got everything. I mean, Dylan's got a ton to prove. The offensive line and the individual players and collectively have a ton to prove. Defensive line as well. Defensive backs, wide receivers do. Everybody has everything on the line, right? And it's good because if you look at, say on the linebacker room, you got Javen and Shavers as your 2 bell cows. Emmett's your bell cow. All of them have everything to prove.
Yeah.
They've shown glimpses, but you haven't been able to, whether it's circumstance or bad luck or whatever, you haven't been able to do it and shown you've been able to do it at the magnitude that needs to be at a 10-2 or 9-3 or 8-4, 9-3, 10-2 plus level.
All you've proven is that you can get to 6-6 one year.
Right.
so far.
Right. Well, the thing is that, and that's where, in order to say Nebraska say, okay, their goal is to be 10 wins or more, then you got to play like it. It can't be Dylan and the receivers throw for 5,000 yards, because you'll be 7-5.
Yeah.
If he's throwing the ball 70-80% of the time, because a lot of those numbers will be empty numbers.
Yeah.
So when you look at the
unless he's Colt Brennan.
Yeah, and you're playing like San Jose State and
Fresno State
with nobody and all that, and Montana State and all that, and the Montanas at home in Hawaii or Nebraska or in Lincoln when it's 40 below zero.
D-Man says I think it's D-line, linebacker, D-backs, and running backs in that order.
I like it. I like it. I mean, I just think the linebackers and the running backs are it. I think and I'm speaking about linebackers and running back in the same fashion. When you have those dudes, which is a smaller group, right? Linebackers are 2/3. Running back is 1/2, right?
Yeah.
Starter backup. You have to be so good that you got to make their mistakes not mistakes. That means linebacker. I've done this before. I remember when Seth Payne got hurt, Terrence Martin came in. And one of the things I had to do is not only play differently, I had to think differently. I had to do my job, but then also play off him and then correct, lead, and guide him. But then if he wasn't getting it, then play differently.
Clean up on aisle B gap.
You better listen. If you normally have the play side B gap, backside A gap, you got B to B and sometimes C to C based on the inexperience of somebody in front of you. And you can't get mad at them, right? Because I've been in that position. And so that's where...
And you probably didn't hear about it from a veteran who was covering for you and you didn't even know it.
I didn't, except one time.
Who was
it?
Who
My
was
main man, Sean Price. Sean Price.
He let you know?
He's a legend. He played at the University of Pacific.
Gervais Green, you.
Yeah, and he chopped off this part of his finger.
Nice.
He was the guy I had to sit next to in our defensive meetings. And he always had like different color Oakleys, but they were Folkleys. They were fake Oakleys. And so what he would do is he'd go to the gas station. They have them for like $2. He'd buy them, wear them, and he's a cool dude, California dude, D lineman. And he'd always be drinking Pedialytes. I mean, like, no, Pedialytes.
Yeah,
right,
like going out of business.
Yes. Yeah. Drinking them, like, downing them. And I'm like, man, this is like syrup. So I used to put half and half of mine and get two. I get 2 out of 1.
Yeah. Rookie paychecks, man.
I found out the reason why. I was inactive one game. That means I'm on the active roster, but it wasn't going to play. Friday inactive.
Gotcha.
So I'm kicking it like me and my buddy, Minneapolis Dogs, down there on Chippewa Street, getting into stuff we ain't supposed to be doing. We leave the bar at 2:00 on the way to catch a cab home. See Sean Price literally across the street. He's like, Foreman, what's up, man? I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, you guys are coming with me. I was like, the bar's closed. He's like, oh, no.
Oh, no. Not so fast,
This is New York. It's open to 6, and we going all night. I said, okay. I said, how we getting home? He's like, don't worry, I got it. We come out of that bad boy at 6. The cab waiting on him. He's like, you know the drill. We're going to the we're going to the stadium. He takes us to the stadium. The cab driver takes my buddies home, and I was like, dog, I can't practice today. He's like, he had it. He used to call it the car wash. 1 Pedialyte, sauna, steam, Pedialyte, back. And listen.
Work your way back down?
Yeah. And listen, hey, Austin. And he would go out there and practice like no other. Me? My tank was on empty. And so that, but more importantly, he became one of my best friends on the team. We're playing the New York Jets, and we ran this, and I'd started before, and it's my 4th year. Greg came in, and so the defense, so I was the youngest starter. So I was the guy that they always kind of, like coached harder or whatever.
Sure.
So they had this thing, and so if you imagine, if everybody's listening out here, he was in a 3 technique. So essentially, he was in the B gap. So that means outside shade of the guard. And I was lined up. I either lined up right behind him, right, or a little bit inside, right, to mess up their count. Or I would line up way outside. Well, against the outside zone, we ran call it a knife stunt. So he would go into the A gap, then I would have the B gap. Well, they fan blocked it, meaning essentially everybody on the offensive line went to the left, to my right.
Okay.
Well, that's easy for me because I just came down and rocked the center, right? Well, Curtis Martin had a different plan.
And he didn't tell you about it beforehand?
Listen, this dude hit Curtis Martin. First of all, I used to be mad at him because he's a good-looking brother too. Because he was dating I forget her name, the same singer that messed up the Dallas Mavs.
Oh yeah,
Tony Braxton. So he hit. When I tell you he hit this thing like 100 miles an hour, Austin, it's like I hit the dude. He's like, dang. You're like, where are you going, right? So then we end up giving up a field goal. I think kind of held tight. We get to the sideline. So Sean wasn't on field goal block. So I'm like, what he waiting for me for? So he got his helmet to the side and stuff, looking out there like Big John Stud. He got the thing, like the picture. He was like, hey, you effed up. Blankety, like talking to me like as I'm trying to get some Gatorade. First of all, this is when most fat fights happen on the sideline. When you tired and you want to get Gatorade, or you on top of it, you thought or didn't, or you knew you didn't mess up. Man, when I tell y'all about face, the guy took off my helmet, we're going nose to nose, and he's pointing at us, and I'm effing him, and he's effing, he's like, bump you. I'm like, bump you back, pushing each other. What comes out on Monday in film? He got double scoop.
Oh,
yeah. He got scooped by Kevin Mawai and his name, Brandon Moore. Yeah, how you like that, Sean Price? He still had those fake Oakleys on. That's my dude, man. Anyways, that's the difference. What I'm talking about, how you have to play different, and you have to be willing to take a little pushback, Austin. A little brotherly love,
and stand up for yourself.
Yeah, it's called standing on business. I was standing on business. We were forehead to forehead. Hey, Austin, headbutt. I took the helmet off. I said, I got to go see. I know where I was at. Anyways, though, we're going to take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this bad boy. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartments, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also, no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Get the Baylor you need without breaking the bank at Landmark Implement. Right now, qualified buyers can get 0% fixed for 36 months or stretch it out with a 2.9% fixed rate for 60 months on used John Deere 560M and R-Series round balers. Reliable, field ready, and priced to move. Don't miss your chance to lock in serious savings before the next cutting rolls around. Visit your local Landmark Implement or head to landmarkimp.com today and experience the Landmark difference.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Tune in to live coverage of Big Ten Media Days from the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, July 22nd through 24th on 93.7 The Ticket. Join Derek Pearson, Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert, and Austin Orman as they bring you exclusive conversations with Big Ten coaches, players, and sports media professionals while getting you ready for the upcoming college football season. Big Ten Media Days coverage is presented by Advanced Medical Imaging, Stevenson Smith Construction, Currency, Warhorse Casino, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and League One Volleyball. On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Hey, I don't want to hate on Joe Burrow. He's clearly in this tier. I think he's the bottom of this tier. I would go Allen Jackson and then Burrow.
You should be a politician. You just convinced
You know what I'm saying? You see what he doing?
Yeah, he didn't have
He doing all the time. It's tricky, man.
Keep going, Jay.
No,
You're speaking my language.
Stop.
You're speaking my language. Come on.
You didn't let him get you, Jay. I can't believe you let him get you again. God,
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman? Quick segment here before we get started to talk about a little bit of old school as we go into the fall. I want to give a shout out to my man Brian Brayman. Unfortunately, passed away from cancer today. It was a Houston Texan. He's obviously significantly younger than I am. Made a huge impact on the team and the community, and then obviously with Houston and Philly. Unfortunately, passed away. That sucks at such an early age. And he was I do know. When I was working for him, obviously in a different capacity, that they talked very highly of him. Came in, special teams demon. But then obviously an even better person. So you want to give, condolences to him and all his loved ones moving forward. So always make that call, shoot that text, try to mend that relationship, at least on your end. It's all good. That shows a sign of maturity that sometimes myself, I can speak, I don't necessarily have, but sometimes you got to try to check yourself. More importantly, for old school Austin, I know we had Whiteboard Wednesdays, but we're going to do a little black shirt breakdown, not both in and out of the studio. So nice. Got some stuff cooking at the crib, but then also be able to break down some plays, both Nebraska and plays in general throughout the Big Ten and college football. So I'm excited about that. So hopefully everybody will be able to pay or will pay attention to it. Obviously, ticket listeners always support everything that we do, so I really appreciate that. A lot of people, actually, I just talked to, I guess one of our fans, at Walgreens.
How about that?
Yeah, I was buying some candy. It's great for the teeth.
I know everyone knows you.
Yeah.
And it's Jay Foreman. I need to say hi to Jay Foreman at Hy-Vee or Walgreens or whatever. But that's really rare for me. I had it happen twice at my eye doctor.
See?
Same day.
I'm
not saying I'm a big deal. It's just kind of weird. People actually do listen.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, they do, and they enjoy it, man. And they like the banter back and forth. And I get compliments all the time, about the job you do. And people know you, and they know your face, and they take a double take or know your voice or whatever. I told you about the time when I had COVID,
right?
And the dude woke up from the dead. I was like, listen, man, you don't got to worry about Jay Foreman. You got bigger things to worry about right now. So we appreciate it wholeheartedly. And I always say this, man, there's times that you don't feel like it, don't want to, or you got a lot of other things going on, but I always try to be gracious as long as it's, they're respectful of my time. So black shirt breakdown coming this fall. And we'll see you next time you'll hear from me. It'll be potentially down at the Big Ten in Vegas if I survive.
You're gonna survive.
I don't know, Austin. I don't know.
Nick and I, Nick will try to make you not survive, but I'm the calming influence.
I know.
Don't forget that.
Yeah. If I don't make it out of Vegas, blame
We'll see what DP has lined up for.
Yeah.
So that's always the wild part.
Yeah. I know, right? So anyways, for old school, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, we'll holler at you tomorrow.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats